Action.
Maestro, ¿cuál es el objetivo de Relaciones Internacionales?
To save the world from nuclear destruction, feed hungry people, help poor people, save the environment, and things like this.
¿Cuáles son las materias que generalmente tiene esta carrera?
Communication, geopolitics, economics, international relations theory, nuclear disarmament, environments class, leadership.
¿Qué tipo de proyectos o prácticas debe de tener un estudiante en esta carrera para egresar con un buen perfil competitivo?
Experience with volunteering or working with NGOs, organizations, governments, working for newspapers, writing books, editing books, giving presentations at conferences, things like this.
¿Cuáles son las competencias que esta carrera demanda?
To have a wide understanding of things, to read a lot, to research, know how to research. What else? To know many languages, to be usually outgoing, to meet a lot of people and network and have contacts around the world, and to be proactive and passionate, to fight for what is right and true, because many times it's hard because many people they don't have the truth, and you have to pursue it at a high cost.
¿Qué tipo de trabajos o actividades puede obtener un estudiante que acaba de salir de la carrera?
You mean job? You can go into journalism, be a reporter, work at a news agency, work for governments, for your embassy, in the military, for NGOs, humanitarian organizations around the world. You can work at banks, things like that.
¿Y qué piensa de los estudiantes que en los próximos 8 años salgan de esta carrera?
It's complicated because I think in general, university is less and less worth it to go because it's so expensive and the economy is declining, so it's hard to get a job. So, but it all depends on the student, if they are proactive enough. So I think you would need more than just the international relations degree. You would need to know a number of languages to obtain experience on top of the degree, and to network and meet people to increase your opportunities of getting a job. And most important, I think, be willing to go anywhere in the world, because there might not be many jobs, let's say, in your country, but in some faraway country, maybe it's easier to get a job where nobody wants to go.
¿Y qué debe de hacer un estudiante para poder competir por un buen trabajo?
Just like everything I said, to read a lot. I teach at the university, and I think a lot of the times the students don't read very much. So you really have to know the topics, so people will see that you know what you're talking about, and that will increase your chances. To know languages is the most important, I think, to learn as many languages as possible, to volunteer, to gain experience as much as you can. So while you're studying, also to volunteer, to be proactive, to contact people and say, hey, you have anything, I work for free, just so you can get experience, and sometimes they will actually offer you a real job in the future. And yeah.
¿Y cuál sería uno de los libros que recomendaría para tener una idea para relaciones internacionales?
That's a hard one because there's many topics. So
uno en especial que le guste.
I mean, I have many books here. Here, I can, this one here. Like, this is one of my favorite. It talks about the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And I mean, even Oliver Stone, the filmmaker, recommends it. And this famous New York Times best-selling author, John Perkins, who actually 2 days ago I spoke to for an hour because we talked to him in my university class via video Skype. I like this book because it explains that international relations is very complicated and very dark, and it's usually what the books and what we learn in university is not always true. And it talks about, for example, why John F. Kennedy was killed, that people within the American government assassinated him, the CIA, the military, because he was trying to be a peaceful president and they wanted war. And this shows you that international relations is not, it's not always what they teach you. You can't be so naive and idealistic. You should be idealistic, but you have to realize what's really going on to be effective. Because if you don't understand who are the bad guys, you can't solve the real problem. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I will read it. ¿Qué otros estudios puede hacer un estudiante después de terminar su carrera?
In international relations. To complement international relations, journalism, or maybe more useful would be business. So maybe if you have international relations, international business, because those are both very connected. But I like business and international relations. It depends on what you like.
Okay. Y ya, por último, ¿cuáles son las megatendencias que visualiza esta carrera?
Mega and trends, no? Well, I think there's a lot of programs, more and more, for international relations, and it will be more competitive. So you will have to work harder, and perhaps choose wisely where you want to study, because at some programs there's a lot of professors that have PhDs, but they don't have real experience. And I was lucky to go to a school where my professors were real diplomats and famous politicians and secret agents, and people like this. So for me, I think you have more from schools like that than some school that just has professors that I have people that really were involved historically in these events and learn from them, and go to schools where you have more opportunities. Like I went to Geneva. If I stayed there, you have more opportunities. So trends, and you should be willing to. Everything's becoming more global, so you really should be willing to go anywhere in the world, because there's so much opportunity. But if you want to study this, you should be willing to go anywhere in the world, I think.
¿Y cuál sería la mejor universidad o de las mejores para estudiar?
I mean, it depends on your interests too.
Sorry.
Continue, yeah. Depends on your interests. In Europe has good, for example, I went to the Geneva School of Diplomacy, but that's a young school that was created like 10, 15 years ago. Still a good school, but right down the street was the very first school that offered a degree in international relations, like 100 years ago, the Graduate School of Geneva, I think, for example. So that would be a very interesting place to study because it was the first school in the world to offer a university degree in international relations. And Geneva is a historical place, and it's got so many international institutions. So I would recommend like the schools in Geneva, in France, in London. In Croatia, actually, we have the Dubrovnik School of International Relations, and that's very good. One of my former professors is there, and an ambassador is the president of the school. So in Croatia, and some in the US. You know, you want to go to the bigger ones like Canada, maybe. So I think you get the idea.
Muy bien. Bueno, pues eso es todo. Muchas gracias.